Her parents sold her because of infertility, until a lonely lumberjack with 4 children took her in. The first snowfall of winter came early that year, blanketing the village of Ealer Hollow in a hush of white silence. Fires burned bright in hearths, and homes brimmed with warmth and laughter. All but one. 17-year-old Luma sat outside on a crate, arms wrapped tightly around her knees, her breath puffing in cold bursts. Her parents' door shut behind her with a finality that cut deeper than the chill. She wasn't sick, hadn't committed any crime. Her only sin was one she never chose: infertility. She can't give heirs, her mother whispered weeks ago to a matchmaker. What man would take her? She's defective. Luma overheard, and since then, the world never felt the same. Her parents had traded her for a wagon load of wood, sacks of grain, and a single pouch of silver, just enough to last a winter. The man they gave her to was said to be a recluse, a widowed lumberjack named Bram who lived deep in the woods with 4 children of his own. They didn't care what happened to her after. Bram arrived the next morning. He was a mountain of a man with a beard streaked silver, wearing a heavy coat patched and weathered. Snow dusted his shoulders like frost on a fallen tree. His eyes, a soft gray, landed on Luma as she stood with nothing but a bundle of old clothes and a thin shawl. "This her?" he asked. Her father nodded without looking Luma in the eye. Bram didn't speak much. He just gestured to his wagon, and Luma climbed in silently. She didn't cry. There was no point anymore. The ride into forest took hours, winding through old pine groves and across frozen creeks. Birds watched them from branches, and once a wolf howled far off. Still, Luma wasn't afraid. She figured if Bram intended her harm, it would already be done. But instead, when they reached the clearing where a sturdy timber cabin stood, children ran out to meet them. 2 boys and 2 girls, ranging from 4 to 10. Their cheeks were rosy with cold, their laughter quick and bright. "Papa, did you bring fire salt? Did you bring meat?" "No," Bram said gruffly. "I brought help." The children blinked at Luma, then nodded without judgment. That stunned her more than anything. Life in the woods was hard, but honest. Bram didn't speak much, but he never raised his voice. He assigned Luma no harsh duties, only asked if she would help with cooking, sewing, and teaching the little ones their letters. She agreed, because she had nowhere else to go. She expected suspicion, maybe resentment from the children, but instead, the youngest, Milla, took her hand on the second day and said, "You smell like warm bread. Can I sit in your lap?" That moment cracked something open in Luma. She smiled for the first time in weeks. Over time, her days found rhythm. Wake early to prepare breakfast, chop kindling, read books aloud to the children by lantern light. She'd hum lullabies at night, soft ones her own mother used to sing before cold indifference replaced affection. There was no judgment here. Bram never asked about her past. The children never whispered cruel words. It was as if this world had carved a space just wide enough for her to fit. One evening, snow fell thick and slow, and the fire crackled warm on the hearth. Bram came in late, shoulders dusted white, arms full of logs. "Storm's coming," he said. Luma nodded. "I added thyme to the stew tonight. Your youngest said it tastes like the forest." That earned the faintest twitch of a smile from him. Later, after the children were tucked into bed, and Luma sat by the fire mending socks, Bram cleared his throat. "You're kind to them." "They're good children," she replied softly. They miss a woman's voice in the house. Luma looked up, fingers stilled. I can't ever. I was told I can't bear children." "I know," he said. "The barter told me." Her heart clenched, ready for the rejection, the inevitable farewell. But he just added, "I didn't take you in to bear more. I took you in because you looked like someone who needed a home as much as they did." Luma blinked and warmth flooded her chest. She didn't know what to say, so she just nodded and returned to her stitching. Winter passed slowly, but it didn't feel lonely. Luma and the children spent hours making paper stars, carving tiny animals from spare wood. The boys taught her how to skin rabbits, and she taught the girls how to embroider tiny flowers onto fabric scraps. She sewed them into a quilt, one patch for each child. Bram would sometimes join them in the evenings, his voice gruff but soft as he told stories of forest spirits and the old ways. One night, he even laughed when Milla tried to braid his beard with wildflower stems. In spring, the snow melted, and shoots of green pierced the soil. Birds returned. Luma stood one morning on the porch, watching the sun rise over the pines, and realized, for the first time in her life, she felt wanted, not as a wife, not as a mother, as Luma. When summer arrived, the village sent word. Her parents had died in a fire. She was her only child, so the land and debts were hers now. She stared at the letter in her hands, her heart a blur of old hurt and new clarity. "I don't want it," she said aloud to Bram. He didn't ask why. He just nodded. That night, she burned the letter in the hearth, watching the embers rise like tiny spirits into the chimney. Milla sat beside her, clutching her patch of the quilt. "Are you our mama now?" she asked. Luma looked to Bram, who was carving by firelight. His eyes met hers, full of quiet steadiness. "I'd like to be," Luma whispered. And for the first time, no one told her she wasn't enough.